There's three different things that I use for the most part to add color. One is pastel chalk, which I started to use for many, many, many years. This is an accumulation of years worth of pastel chalk. So you can do a couple of things. One, you can, in your kit, I have pastel makeup applicators. Bingo. And that's what I use. I use different ones. It also does the same thing. But what I do then is I take a piece of paper and I'll take my knife here. And for instance, let's see, on Molly, let's get her, let's start off with this one here. It's kind of a golden. It's not exactly, but it's a little bit of a brown. And I could take the side of that knife and just create a little pile of dust. With the applicator, I can actually go in there. Back this up, give myself a little bit of space. And I can start to push it into the crevices. Doesn't have to be exactly accurate. I'm just going to put it in the dark areas for the most part now. So the most important part is, hey, just enjoy yourself. Okay. That's enough for that. And then a kneaded eraser is my favorite tool. Could be a lot of fun. So I use small pieces, I break them off, and then show you exactly how this works. So I've got a little bit of pastel on the nose. So there it is. I just picked it right off. And then what you do is just fold it over. And eventually it gets darker and darker for materials, etc. Kind of wipe and then blend areas. Some could be lighter, darker. It's up to you. And you can see the dust here accumulate. And the whole idea is you definitely want to keep it as clean as you can. And don't use your hands on this because your hands have oil. So that'll help it also keep clean and not have the chalk be contaminated with oil. Okay, so that's a good start. It looks, according to there, what we can take and now be a little bit more subtle. And what else can we use here? Use a lighter choice. This has a lighter color on it. These are also available at the art store, and they're little foam applicators you simply put on. It's called Soft, a tool. So it would be good for term blending. So now I can take that same pastel and kind of blend it a little bit, just you can put a fair amount on the subject and then just start taking it away. So it's like sculpting. So I'm just going to give her a little bit of color, but it's much softer. Oh, it is a blending process. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and her eyes are a darker color. So in this case, I can use what is called a stub or blending stick. These are pretty much at art stores. You can also roll up a piece of cardboard tight, etc. And you can use it just like a tool. And in this case, I can just put it into her eyes because she has that brown eyes. So that's pastel. It can be a couple different colors. It's really up to you. You can also do it and use, I'm going to show you, this is something I'm working on. This is 24 different colors. This is my first sample. Thinking about getting more. Comes with a set of brushes. I like this one. I'm just plain used to it. So I'm going to take and give her a little bit, instead of white, I'm just going to give her a little, it's going to be a little lighter. So I'm just going to give her a little blue flower. I'm going to let it dry. Then I'm going to come back with my tool and I'm going to back to a white center, and then I'm going to just give her a couple little highlights, like adding just a little bit of dimension to it. So even if you've already added color, you can continue to scratch to make it more realistic. And I'm going to give her a little bit of yellow in that ribbon. Just going to give the opportunity to get a little bit more color in there. Give a little bit of yellow in the eye. The reason I'm doing that, it makes it look a little bit more dimensional or realistic. And then, even though I use the kneaded eraser on her highlight on her nose, I'd like that a little bit brighter. So I'll come back. Now what I'm doing is just giving the feeling of realistic or dimension. The next step is, if you're happy with it now, you then can take it and spray it. And the reason I say spray is because you're going to add a layer of lacquer to it, just to keep the fingerprints from compiling or the dust to come off. As you take and maybe you want to frame it, maybe just take it off the board and put it on a colored piece of mat and attach it to the wall. So what I use, this is just a suggestion now. Krylon is probably one of the most common and affordable sprays. There are many different sprays you can use. I go to Amazon and just buy satin. I favor the satin, so I'm not looking at reflections. If I use a matte finish, everything gets flat. Here, the satin will add a little bit of dimension to it. And that's what I use. It's permanent, it's protective, non-yellowing, moisture resistant, and it dries in minutes. Thanks for watching. Happy scratching.